everyone, my name is Andrew Barbuto, and today I'm going to talk about the single most important activity that you can do in sales, the follow-up. In sales, persistence beats resistance. One of the most challenging things that new salespeople have to deal with is not receiving a response from their emails. And this was very challenging for myself as well when I first started in sales. The reality is that you should not expect a response on your first, second, or third reach out. It takes an average of 7 touch points before you get a response, typically from a cold prospect. That means you need to continue to stay on top of it, provide value, follow up every other day until you reach at least that 7 touch points. But the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you're targeting the right people so that you're not wasting any time. How you do that is by defining your ideal customer profile. Those are the people that you're most likely going to be able to help and that have the means to buy from you. Next, you want to create your ideal persona profile. These are the people at those companies that are most likely to buy from you. You want to target all of the people that match the ideal persona across all of the companies that match your ideal customer profile. From there, you want to craft a compelling value proposition, understanding what the needs are of your ideal customer profile and what your ideal persona cares most about. Once you do that, you want to not just create one email, you want to create a sequence of emails. And you want to do that across various channels too. Start off on LinkedIn, then head over to email, maybe make a phone call. You want to be very clear with your value proposition and make sure that you're crystal clear on the tangible benefits that they could get from working with you and what those key differentiators are. People are busy, so you need to make sure that you're reaching the right person at the right time with the right message. It's important that you cast a wide net within the companies that match your ideal customer profile. And the reason for that is because some people are just never going to respond. So you need to reach out to a variety of people to make sure that you find one that does. Most salespeople give up before the 7 touch points. And the reason for that is because they get distracted, it's tiring, it's very difficult to continue to follow up with somebody with no response. But you need to do that because the reality is you're not going to always get a response when you're looking for one. Consider each email that you send, regardless of whether you get a response or not, to be one of a sequence that you're sending. And don't consider an email sequence complete until you send at least 7. It's really important to know for your time management which opportunities are worth pursuing and which ones should you give up on. After a promising demo, I once sent 87 emails, 3 proposals, 1 financial analysis, multiple gift cards over a 2-year period, and only received 9 responses. But when I finally did get that last response, the prospect said, "Send me a contract." And they thanked me for all the emails that I sent over. The reason why they thanked me is because every single email that I sent every couple weeks was filled with some form of value, whether it be research, case studies, relevant articles. The only reason why I kept and I stayed consistent for that long was because I had a very promising demo with this prospect and I knew that we could help. They matched my ideal customer profile and there was interest. I just knew I needed to send value until the timing was right. The time is not always going to be right for all of your prospects. Many times in B2B sales, our champions are not going to be the ones who control the budget. And so therefore, if you know that they're promising, there's interest, but maybe the timing isn't right, you need to consistently send over value until the time is right. And you need to do that with as many qualified prospects as you possibly can, so that way somebody's always close to closing. When you follow up, make sure that you're always providing some form of value. You always reiterate the key value drivers that you know that is gonna resonate with them, and you have a clear call to action with availability. Don't leave it up to your prospect to have to go through their calendar to find avails and send it to you. Make it extremely easy for them by sending over avails to choose from. And make sure you do it in their time zone. It's important not to give up because you never know when that last email, the one you send you almost didn't, leads to a massive opportunity. This happened to me at the start of my career. It was a late Friday afternoon. I had been reaching out, following up, and I was about to give up on a prospect when they finally responded with 2 words, "Call me." So I did. I get on the phone with them. I start telling them who we are and what we do. They stopped me mid-sentence and said, "We're not the people to talk to, but here is the person that you need to reach out to." They gave me their name, but no email. So I ended up reaching out to the wrong email for 2 weeks before finally getting the phone with this prospect. When I get on the phone with them, I quickly realized that I was looking at the wrong company with the same name. And this was an advertiser that represented billions of dollars in revenue. Things moved very quickly from there and it turned into the biggest client that I've ever had in all of my companies. They followed me 8 years later. This would have never happened if I had given up on that Friday afternoon. Always remain resilient. When you're following up, switch up channels, Change up the different subject lines that you're using. Reach out to different people across the organization. The key is keep following up, provide different value, something that might stand out, and always let them know that you are following up and it's not a new chain. Subconsciously, if a prospect knows that this is your 7th, 8th, 9th time reaching out, they are gonna be more likely to respond to you one way or another. Make it a daily habit to follow up. When I first started building out my book of business, that was the first way I started every single day, was to follow up on the emails that I had sent out 2 days earlier. I did this for the first 6 months of my career and was able to set up roughly 5 meetings per week because I was able to reach out to enough people and reach them with enough touch points to set up meetings. And following up does not just mean in your prospecting efforts. You wanna follow up anytime that you've had a really promising call with a prospect, you submit a proposal, you have a contract that's outstanding. Regularly following up will help you stay top of mind and will allow you to reach them at a time that is convenient for them. Always be available to them. I love getting those emails when they say, oh, your timing is great, I was just thinking of you. You are bound to get responses like this if you reach out to enough people with value over time. It's easy to be in the right place at the right time when you're everywhere all the time. Before you start any email, think about how can I help this prospect? What will be useful? Go on the internet, go to their website, go to your internal resources, find something that would help them do their job better. If you do that, even without responses, that value will accumulate, you will build trust and credibility. So when the time does become right, you'll be the first one they go to. If you consistently follow up with value, I promise you'll be setting up meetings, those meetings will lead to opportunities, and if you do that over a long enough period of time, you will be closing deals. I hope this was helpful. My name is Andrew Barbuto. Once again, I have a book coming out. It's called Top Sales Producer, How to Crush Your Sales Quota. You can go to my website, andrewbarbuto.com, and you could sign up to get a free sneak peek. You can also see my meeting hack on how to secure next steps in 5 minutes, or my cold outreach strategy that secures guaranteed meetings. Also, feel free to check out any of my other videos up here where I cover topics such as how to build trust, how to build rapport, how to get in contact with CEOs, how to differentiate. I put out weekly B2B sales tips. Please like and subscribe if you did get value from this. Thanks again for watching, and always remember, if you're not helping, you're not selling.